Okay, I want to say hello again everybody, it's me Wushu Richard. Welcome to another video, another talk video, and it's really good, I must say. I am so happy to be back sharing with everybody, Don't forget, before we get onto the topic in this video, that I will try to, in every video I upload, nearly every video I will try to upload in the information. If you check below this video, or wherever it is on YouTube, have a look on the information section. I will try to always leave links to my other channels. Remember, I make so many different kinds of videos and material. I make my own cartoons, just rough stuff, just my own stuff. I do my own music, like the raps, just my own stuff, It's not like the best, but I just do what I do. I do my own comics now too, and I work on my art and do things like that. So you will find links, plus a link to my Facebook channel, and then other bits and pieces, too. But martial arts is my main thing, Excuse me. So welcome back. I'm really happy you can join me again. Some of my videos can get very long, and I can get very expressive, when I express myself, and I use strong language sometimes, as I say, but it's just me expressing myself, There's different sides to me, but like the most important thing is you're honest to yourself, and you're positive, and that's what it's supposed, it's like martial arts. You can say it's a combative art, form, but it's for positivity. Is how you use it and how you express it. So anyway, that's actually the topic of today's video. I think now we're really getting into it. I've made this is a new channel. As I say, I have been sharing martial arts tips on training methods, just my training methods, skills, just my training and my philosophies. I've been sharing now for 10 years, because I've been living in China for nearly 10 years. This is the 10th year, and all of this time I've been sharing online in many different channels. I've been sharing thousands, and this is literally, I'm not just making that sound so good, right? Why don't I just say hundreds? But it is literally thousands of videos I've been sharing, because it's hundreds. On each channel that I've made, there's always been the lowest has always been 200 and something videos. I'm talking about uploading in under a month, a few weeks, and you're going to get 200 or so videos. And it's been some videos are really long, as you've seen on this channel already, right? And some videos are really short, under 5 minutes. But it's I'm so dedicated to the martial arts, and I'm so dedicated to the cause of what the true martial arts was all about, and I stick true to the traditional and the true martial arts. But it's I stick pure and true to the true martial arts meaning, which is about love life. This world's in such a mess. It's so messed up. We need to learn to control ourselves and start respecting each other as human beings, and life in general, and nature. So as I say though, some of my channels though, I've uploaded 500 to 700 videos per channel. And I've had around over 10 channels on YouTube, definitely, over these years. And they're all full up like that. And a single video could be hours long. So, imagine, right? And now plus I do my own writing in my free time. I'm not the best writer, I'm not the best artist or musician or filmmaker. But I do all this stuff too. Blogs, scripts, short stories, art, my drawing, my comics, my animation I'm doing now, trying to work on cartoons, all kinds. I played around with 3D a little bit now, I'm doing 2D, got some different softwares, I paid out for, some of them are free, some of them I paid out for, got them cheap, and but it's I just love to create, and it's Jean-Claude Van Damme even said himself, if you don't create in life, then what's the reason to live? And I just can't express that point enough, because people just go to work every day and complain about life and all the rest of it, and they get stuck up in it. It's I remember there was a rap song which I loved very much, Oh yeah, plus by the way, I've got my rap channel for the raps too, which I do, just my own little bit. I'm not the best, but I just do it, you know, for fun. But it's like, you know, I remember, you know, there was a rap song by a guy called, was it Dead Prayers or Stick Man and that, but it was called Back on My Regiment. There's one track called Back on My Regiment, and there's another one called I Believe too, and these tracks are so good in the lyrics, but Back on My Regiment's a real good one, and it's talking about, you know, training and keeping strong in you know, in your, I mean, so keeping yourself back in your health. Like the lyrics talk about like how you may be feeling so beaten down by this world, and you've been stuck up in your hectic life, like busy day to day with work and everything, but it says, you know, you've got to get back on your regiment, get back on your training and focus in your mind and your body, and I love that, you know. I love all that wheel. It's like the spirit of like Rocky and all of that, you know what I mean? I love all of that. And, you know, who doesn't, you know what I mean? And things like, I was a big fan, I've always been a big fan, I don't know if you know him, it's BT, that's Black Taoist. Hi, if you're watching. You know, he is a wonderful martial artist. He practices the arts of Bagua mainly. He practices like Kung Fu systems, but they train out in the open, they train out in parks, he teaches people, and it's all like urban Bagua they call it, but it's like traditional martial arts and Kung Fu. And he's like talking about the traditional arts, and I love that, because in this day and age it's just MMA in your face all the damn time. It's fair enough, but it's like, you know, traditional Kung Fu, and he's like keeping it real and keeping it alive, and they're training in the parks, you know, in the rain, or, you know, early in the morning or whenever it is, and you just see them training there together in their hoodies and that, or whatever, just training, you know, in the hoods, in the parks, and it's just, you can relate to that, you know what I mean? It's like everybody's been there, everybody, you know, people like going to work and things like that, and all this, the hard life we have, you know, walking down city streets or wherever you've lived, you know, and it's like going through parks or wherever, it might be late of a night, early in the morning, or coming back from work when you're so damn tired and things like this, you know, but it's like, or the stress you've had in your life, and we all have it, but it's like living the dream and focusing, and martial arts is amazing, and it's like, even like Rocky and things like that, you know, I'm a massive fan of old 80s films and stuff like that, you know, and old 70s Kung Fu films too. I love all that, don't get me started, but it's like Shaw Brothers and that, but I'm saying like Wu-Tang Clan, all that bit. I'm saying, but you know, with the films though, like, you know, Karate Kid, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, all of that, you know, Van Damme, and then you got Rocky with Stallone. It's just unbelievable stuff. It's really like magical stuff, and with things like that, like, I regard that as like martial arts, even though it's like boxing, but it's like you know, the story's like about the heart, you know. Our life can be so hard and so cold, but you're running up those steps in the snow, and it's like, you just don't back down, no matter, like Rocky said, you know, no matter what comes at you, you know, it's like, no matter how hard you get hit, it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? Legendary. Things like that, of course, real boxers and things like Mike Tyson and stuff. You know, all of this stuff, even things like, one of my favourite actors ever was Robin Williams, you know, he died sadly, he committed suicide I do believe, as did David Carradine, right, a legend also from Kung Fu and that TV series, but I'm just saying, like, people like, you know, Robin Williams was such a wonderful spirit, he was so funny and he was so nice as a person, and to me it was martial arts, you know, the spirit of martial arts at least. Things, you know what I mean? Not everybody's got that magic touch. Even Michael Jackson, fair enough. I'm saying people that are gifted, you know what I mean? There's been comedians over the years, you know, Benny Hill. I'm not gonna go into detail. You know what I mean? Though there's people. I'm a massive fan of Will Ferrell. Okay, Will Ferrell's great. I think he's so funny. But especially Robin Williams, though. Robin Williams was such an. If you've ever seen some of his films, like two of his films, which I love most of his film, but two films that I love from Robin Williams were, there's a very touching film which is called What Dreams May Come. Have you ever seen it? It's a beautiful, emotional story, like What Dreams May Come. Now for me, okay, don't get me started, I'm not one for all this soppy stuff. It's got to be martial arts, take it back to the 80s, 1970s, hardcore, kick-ass, none of this modern crap they're putting out nowadays. But there's some good stuff nowadays, but I'm just saying the stuff nowadays is mostly like computer effects or something, they're just retelling the same thing over again, remakes, and there's no like real originality, I feel, a lot of the time. I don't know if you agree. I love a lot of the old stuff because they had all the ideas back when I was growing up, you know what I mean, all the classic stuff. Even things like Short Circuit, you know, things like Robocop. Let's say the Short Circuit with the robot Johnny Five, you know, J5 and that, and then you got like Gremlins, you got Home Alone 1 and 2, you know, magical films. It's like, what am I talking about? I'm steering clear of the path of like martial arts here, aren't I? No, I'm saying all of this is just pure beauty. Again, going back to Robin Williams, another film which was, excuse me, another film which was, I'm talking about a lot of films in this video already, aren't I? I haven't gone to the topic yet, but it was, sorry, what's the name of the film? Oh, sorry, Hook. Yeah, it was like Peter Pan and that Pan, you know, but like Hook, and that's a very touching film. And there's moments in that like which are very, very martial artsy. It's like about someone who's an outcast, kind of, it's like, you know, but it's like he wants to fit in, and it's all about the imagination, the dream, and you get like heart-filled moments in there. And there's love and all the rest of it. It's like between the family and that, and it's like being young, keeping young in your heart, wanting to be a hero. It's a thing about courage, and then doing the impossible. Like, you've got this little wooden sword, and it's like, again, going back to things like Musashi, the legendary samurai who won a fights with that wooden training sword. But going back though, really though, we're just saying though, you have a real, you know, Masayama. But I'm saying, but you know, with Robin Williams though, and in the film, at the end of the film, and it's like he's got the sword, and he says, "Who can I pass the sword on to?" Because he's leaving, you know. And it brings a tear to your eye if you're a big soppy son of a bitch like me, you know. And it's just, you know, and they're like eating the food, and it's like all these kids there, and it's like, you know, where's all the food? This big feast, there's nothing there, but it's this imagination, you've got to imagine, you know, and they're playing and that. But it's like, you know what I mean, it's like telling you about imagination's the key sometimes, and living your dream, you know, and you've got to make it happen, and make something happen. Maybe other people can't see it, but you can see it. It's not about being deluded, it's not about being, or just pretending things are there. You have to be real and make your life what it is, real concrete. But if you just sit there dreaming it and not doing anything, it won't happen at all, and you'll be far away, more further from your dreams. You are the one who has to make it happen. This is what martial arts teaches us. So training, patience, determination, carrying it into your life. So stories like Rocky and things like that I can relate to. Anything. Even things like Scrooge, you know, A Christmas Carol, which I love so much. You know, Disney did a remake, a story of that as well. Films like David Bowie's Labyrinth and things like that, you know. Even things like horror films I love, which are films like The Shining and It, you know, Stephen King's It with the clown, things like that, you know. It's creepy films, but you see like the kids when they get together. Anything about like heroes versus villains, and you know what I mean, and magical things, you know, like, The Wizard of Oz, awesome. Oliver Twist. I'm bringing out stuff here, and do you see any martial arts in that? Not at all, right? But you know what I mean? In this day and age, this youth as well, the MMA and stuff, they ain't got a clue. I'm talking to the people now who at least know what martial arts is. No offence to the MMA people, I'm saying know what the martial arts we relate to as martial arts. Our crap stuff, if that's what they want to call it. Like the 1970s classic kung fu films and all of that, you know. In the 80s, what, you know, all the epic stuff, and then plus, you know, Jackie Chan and Jet Li as well, and all that epic stuff. My favourite films have always been the epic films of like from Jet Li and the stuff from Hong Kong, and like Jackie Chan and stuff. My favourite films are like Drunken Master. I love Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan. Awesome, right? But I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of other films out there and stuff, you know, that's really, really emotional from the heart, is telling the story of like what martial arts is really about. There's a film I think called is it called Daylight with Sylvester Stallone as well. There's so many films you can think of. Anything what's got a heart, you know, it's like it's hard to explain, but it's like I see the martial arts in that. It's basically the love for life and the value of life. That's what it basically is about. You know, there's amazing human beings like Jock Fresco, a very wise man, as I say. Things that you don't find in everyone. It's like martial spirit as such. If you're able to remain humble and see the beauty in life, and you know, still, you know, be so focused as a person, and like, you know, it's like have a power of some kind. It's like that's a hero, you know what I mean? Not just someone who's got all the tattoos in the world, no offence, you know, all the muscles and that. They go in the gym, they go around, I'm going in for the belt, man, I'm going in for the motherfucking belt, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, I'm going to take you down, watch how I'll ground and pound you and all this. What the fuck? Or people that just join these gangs or whatever it might be, or, you know, fair enough, people join groups and stuff to feel like be part of something. It's like you want to feel part of something and connect with other human beings, fair enough. But you know what I mean, though? People that just have just got no guidance in their life, they're just misguided, they just choose violence and they train themselves up to be fighters or to do things to prove points. So anyway, the topic of this video, if we're going to begin now, is actually not movies, believe it or not. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Stephen King again, epic writer, and that's like martial arts to me too, you know, Steven Spielberg and all that, you know what I mean? But go back to what I'm saying though, yeah? Oh, The Sound of Music, the list goes on, you know what I mean? The Sound of Music, so many things, right? David Bowie, Labyrinth, 1980s, all this stuff, a never-ending story. But going back to what I'm saying, right? This is not a video about films, really. What I'm talking about here, okay? Oh, one more. Sorry, before Disney as well. I've got all the respect in the world for Disney for doing the beautiful stuff they do with their films. They also tell beautiful stories, and they just continue to be like pure and fresh every single time. They are genius at what they do. And as I say again, South Park and The Simpsons. So people that create this stuff and create computer games and all this entertainment stuff, so there's some creative people out there, and you've got to have an eye for life. You can't just you can't just get any idiot off the street and tell them to tell a story that's balanced, that really connects with human beings' emotions. Because if it doesn't connect with a human being on emotional terms as such, in some level, it's not going to be appealing to anyone. The only problem is human beings, especially yous and people like that, don't connect to a world that they connect to a world that they think's real when it's not, and they connect to violence, they connect to, you know, if they're going through stress in their life, you know, some people think picking up a gun is the answer, or getting into fights is the answer, or choosing a life of crime and saying fuck the world. That's what they think's the answer, and this is absolutely not at all the way. You know, sometimes fear makes people become the most nasty people or bullies in the world. Sometimes, you know, they become overconfident and such, they become monsters, you know what I mean? So now, let's go back to what I'm saying though, right? It's about the mind and the imagination, it's about being able to see all kinds of elements of life from different perspectives, and be able to, you know, see all of that before you can make any sense and then create. To do that, and it takes practice as well. So what I'm going to say in this video, okay, what I'm really going to say in this video, right, thanks for watching, is this video is the first one. I'm going to make this a two-part thing. I'm going to make like 2 videos about this, I think, okay. This video here is now, I'm going to make it coming to the end now, okay. I'm basically just talking about movies, obviously, but I'm talking about the martial art, but I'm also talking really about violence. I was going to talk about violence in this video. In the next video I'm going to talk about violence and my feelings towards violence. So I think this video is more like a video about martial art, about the heart of the martial arts and how I see it, okay. It's about seeing the beauty in life. I remember even Jet Li himself once even said about wushu, basically translated as martial arts, you know, in Chinese, wushu. You know, he said the actual meaning of that is ultimately just love, and that's what it is. You know, it's like Dan Inosanto said: you love life, you want to protect life, passion, something you care for, you want to do good, you want others to look up to you and say you're great, so you try hard at what you do. You want to feel good in yourself, you want to empower yourself. You know what I mean? All this stuff. Even this for your ego, you've got to learn to like forgive others sometimes. Mr. Miyagi even said in the film Karate Kid, you know, for people who have got no forgiveness in their heart, living's worse than death. And there's so many nasty people in this world who are unforgiving too, sadly. I'm not just saying it for to sound good on video and just making all these speech like videos here and it's what it really is. We have to face it, and you can put people down who just speak their mind, or people who are quiet or shy, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're either a nasty person or a kind person. Nice, you have to understand yourself and understand others. That's what it's about. So, you know, this is what really, really is, I guess. In life, you know, it's about how you treat others, you know, like again, Jackie Chan about Kung Fu and that, you know, Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, the newer one, when he says like everything is Kung Fu, it's about how you treat people, taking off and putting on the jacket, all of that. Like, as I said before, all of the philosophy from the old Kung Fu TV series and all that, you know, it's just absolute beauty. It's just saying, look for the good in life and avoid violence, is what I'm saying, right? Avoid violence. In this video, I'm just talking about that, right? It's a wonderful thing, is all I can say to you, right? So, I was just going to say something else there as well. I've just totally forgotten what I was going to say. Another example of it. But, yeah, it's about, you know, learning to forgive others, even when people might come across as like, seeming like they're doing it for their ego to empower themselves, or they're being, let's say for example, I'm not going to mention any names here, I'm not going to mention any names, right, it's one of them trips, but there's people online that I've known over the years, I'm not going to mention names, but martial arts, people in the martial arts, people that are like big name kind of things, who have like managed to find so many supporters and subscribers, and they've formed like groups. I'm not going to mention any groups. I was part of one of them groups at one time, and I still wouldn't mind representing it, you know what I mean? But there was this guy, and there was this guy who was like the leader of this thing, more or less. I don't want to say the leader, but it was like this guy who was honestly sharing martial arts skills, mainly like ninjutsu skills. I think most people know who I'm talking about, maybe saying this, but this guy is an awesome person. A lot of people looked up to him. That's the way I see it. And I didn't have the most communication with the guy. Maybe he was busy in his life anyway, so I've got to be forgiving in myself, right, as a martial artist, and forgive. That's what it's about. It's not about hating, it's about forgiving. Because if I look down upon someone, even just look at someone in my mind like, any kind of negative thought, in a way, that's like I'm attacking someone, the way I see it. Any negative thought towards like someone is attacking someone for any reason, because it's only my mind. Why can't I control it and turn it to be positive, no matter what the real situation is, right? That's the real ultimate way in the martial arts, I believe. You've got to be like a monk. You've got to literally avoid all kind of hate, and it's hard in this world, but it's like avoid it at least and do something better, do something good. So it's like you've got to you say yourself, if you look down upon anyone in any way, are you being, as I say, azzy in the word? Are you being, nasty? If you are, in your mind, if you're looking down upon someone or comparing, who does he think he is? It's immediately, it's like you are attacking someone. It's like a kind of attack. It's like a negative thought. It's like attack. Even though you didn't do anything to them, they don't know what you're thinking, but it is, isn't it? And you've got to learn to control your thoughts, otherwise you can never control your actions. This is what it is, and learn to be still and calm like that water, okay? So you can see the true reflection, because there's something that becomes distorted with the ripples, you understand what I'm saying? You keep throwing rocks in, you might never get back, you know what I mean? Or that water might come up and gradually flood you, and you'll have no land to stand on, you know what I'm trying to say? Keep chucking rocks in the water, keep chucking the land in the water, you know what I mean? You're jumping off cliffs and stuff, it's like you've got to try and do the impossible, but it's going to be worth, not negative. You know what I mean? You try and do positive stuff. So going back to what I'm saying again though, yeah, so, that's basically what it is, right? So I know this guy, I knew this guy a while ago, a long time ago, who was like constantly sharing hundreds upon hundreds of martial art videos. It really inspired me also to like share videos online, and that's another thing which kind of helped inspire me to share videos of martial arts. This guy would share videos on philosophy, on martial arts training techniques that were really, really good, applicable traditional martial arts techniques, and also weapons training too, and it was all traditional. A lot of the stuff was like ninjutsu kind of stuff. There were Japanese and Korean styles though. Anyway, there were lots of people online who didn't like this guy. I think most people know what I'm talking about if you're close friends of mine, but there were people who would put this guy down, or they would say, I can see through all of this, and that guy puts on a show, it's all ego, that guy puts on a show like he's not really kind and all this, he's only doing it for the ego, and he's only doing it to try to get people's attention. Now this is where the martial arts thing comes in. If you're really on the path of mastery and wisdom in the martial arts, you should, as I see it, and don't take it from my words, how I feel, I'm just trying to say, I'm never trying to put words in people's mouths, or in people's head, ideas in people's head. But what I'm trying to say is, like, for me, right, I feel the true martial arts is like, you've got to be constantly forgiving and understanding of people, especially understanding that all people have their own weaknesses or their own fears, and it's all based on their background. You can't always look down upon fear and you know, timidness, or people that are not in the know, or weaknesses and things. You can't do that because it's not fair. Why should you bully the weak or hate the weak? You know, that's just bullying. That's just, you know, that's just wrong, right? You wouldn't bully a poor person. It's like, why should you bully someone because they're a quiet person, or because they're afraid, or this or that? So whenever you see someone who's like a bully or a nasty person, you've got to know that that's coming from a cowardness inside, or that's coming from a kind of fear inside. Fear is the only darkness, remember. They're coming from a kind of dark place. They're not clear in their mind. So these people are coming from a background, depending on their different situations growing up, their life, surroundings, whatever they've been through and experiences in their life. So these people you have to look at. I know your surroundings, you know, and you've got to look at them and think to yourself, like, I can relate to this person, because although I'm not them and I'm not in their shoes, we all are coming from a different place that nobody else can see. They don't know you and your hardships in your life too. So if they're a nasty person, avoid them. If you can't change them, definitely, right? Protect yourself if you need to. Protect your neck. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. But I'm just saying, right, the true thing is, if these, right, if someone's coming across with some kind of ego, be it in a positive way, be it like someone's being really kind and nice, like I said, right, about that guy, and many people, you know, thought this guy was like, some people thought that he was like being fake, and he was doing it all, being kind and like doing it all to get ego, to get people's attention, to get more subscribers on his channel and all this. But do you see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, is what I'm trying to say. You've got to learn to be forgiving and understanding of people. There's nothing wrong with doing good. If you're doing good, if you're trying to make friends, if you're trying to make communication, even if it's for your own ego, even if it's just because you want to get more friends or more attention, is there anything wrong with wanting to get more attention? If you're a nasty person, you're going to get more back of the head, you're going to get more people turning away from you. If you're a nice person and you're sharing, the good people will see through it. The blind people will turn away and walk away from positivity. So if you're positive, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't matter. So if you see someone and you think that they're being positive and all the rest of it and doing all these good things, helping out people just because they want attention or they want this or want that, don't worry, they'll learn in their life the same way you will from the truth eventually. But you will learn more and you will gain more from positivity, right? I mean, you can gain a lot from negativity too, but it's what you do. So what I'm trying to say is the knowledge will come to them. It's not your problem whether someone else learns or not in life. You have to learn yourself. So what I'm trying to say is, if someone's being kind or this or that, it's not up to you or your mates to get and start talking about someone and putting them down. Or you saying, it's like, that's like an attack on someone. You should say, oh, you know, that person's a lonely person, maybe you feel, and they're doing all this stuff because they feel they need to. It's not from the heart, but they want to get more attention. So is there anything wrong with that? They're doing something that's not negative. They're sharing what they believe in, or they're sharing something which is okay, good, even if you don't like what it is. You know what I mean? Things like that, for example. So that I didn't like it when I saw people putting that guy down, because I thought it doesn't matter if he's genuinely doing it, or in part, or if he's just doing it for his ego. At the end of the day, if someone's got an ego, it's the same as a bully. If someone's got an ego, some nasty person, they've got fears inside. They've got lonely places, cold places, dark places where they feel they're misunderstood. They want to be seen. So if you be positive back, at least it's going to be good, more of a reflection. You're going to try and put some more good in the earth. It doesn't mean you've got to constantly water a stone. You've got to remember, so you're not wasting it. You're not wasting your energy on human beings. If you give that love, patience, respect and communication and stuff, as long as you're not going to starve yourself, give all your money up for someone, you know, and give it all. I'm just saying it's okay sometimes to give a bit of patience and a bit of, you know what I mean? And just understanding, saying that people, you know, we all got that heart. And if that person never turns around and thanks you for your understanding or this or that, or never changes, and that person still continues to be the way they are, fine. We're not saying that you must constantly follow some arsehole, excuse my language, and waste your time on this loser because that person's just, because of their own fear, their own darkness, that they want to be nasty, and you just constantly keep giving up your time and this and that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, that positivity is the key. Positivity and patience. And avoid negativity. You can avoid it, but there's no, avoid the thing. There's no need to attack. It's the same thing like in real martial arts, true martial arts. We're talking about, for a moment, the ancient way. We're talking about martial arts should be there to stop harm. To stop people from getting hurt. So protecting yourself, protecting the opponent from them hurting themselves or hurting anybody else. So you're trying to cut down the situation. Say, they say, cut off the arm to save the body. Cut off the hand to save the arm. I think what it says is like you try and use as least force and least power against someone. Force and that. You're trying to talk them down with words or this and that, things like that. So you've got to feel what needs to be done or what doesn't. You've got to be when someone needs you to just listen to them. Rather than give advice, or when it's better to give some advice, or just try to, just someone to spend time with, to communicate with, or if someone, someone is hungry, you pay for some food. If it's a homeless guy, I would say, for example, you have to find how to fill that space. It's what martial arts is, right? Finding how to fill that space, when to become the space and when to fill the space. So he is like fill the cup with water, Bruce Lee, and again. You see what I'm trying to say though? It's like, you've got to learn when to be nothing and be soft like in the martial arts and absorb the attack, and when to like go in and find the space and attack, what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, that's what it's like in life. It's not like you're fighting, you're learning the art of fighting and all this power and all this. The struggle, not the struggle, you're learning the power of the combat, so you're able to understand how to avoid it in life, even in terms of communication with people too. You see what I'm trying to say? So, when you understand others, well, you never will, but it's like, it's like you're not wasting your time with people, but it's like you may spend 6 days of your week, if you're such a patient person, it's your choice, don't forget, whatever, 1 day to 6 days, but it's like, you might spend 6 days of your week trying, or let's say, or a long time in your lifetime, or years or months, but let's just say 6 days in your week, trying to get someone to, trying to be positive towards someone who you feel is very negative, being patient with them, never losing your temper with them, forgiving them for all this and that. And you may find that, you're not going to do this for a 7th day because, they're not changing and they're just messing your they're wasting your time. So but at the same time, you'll go away for that 7th day, and you will be thinking about this week. You wasted all your energy and this and that. It's not. It was your choice. You can't blame anyone, and it was positive. So you were good and you did the right thing. But how you use your time is the most important thing. This is what we're talking about in life, right? So people in this world, however they act, the most important thing you've got to do is avoid getting hit, right? You've got to avoid losing, avoid wasting your energy, and avoid them actually hurting you. So learn to not care, and learn to not be there if there's a physical attack or this or that. You know what I'm trying to say? So whatever they say towards you, whatever they think, or they're giving you some nasty words, or you've got to learn to say, well, life still goes on. The sun's still in the sky, the trees are around, you've got oxygen in the air. Life goes on. I don't like this job, I can change my job. You know what I'm saying, right? The bus is taking a long time, I might have to walk back home today, but it's a bit of exercise. I think you need to learn to balance things out. They don't have what you want in the shop, but you can get that instead, lunch-wise, for your lunch, let's say. You know what I'm trying to say? You learn to adapt to the situation and not just make do with crap, but I'm just saying, learn to see that most of your life is intact, and you don't have to worry about all these little people and all of their little problems. We all have little problems as far as other people see it as well, don't forget. And no one's perfect, but it's if there's people though especially who are being positive, and you are concerning yourself with the fact that it may be all fake or for whatever it is or this or that, and actually they're not like that at heart, then I think that's totally wrong for you to think that, because that's like being azzy, as we call it. That's like being very negative. You know what I mean? It's you've got to learn to say, well, this person's obviously got dark places in their mind, in their heart and background from how they think and how they've developed as a person in their character. And you're not a psychologist, you're not their mother, you're not them. Only them can sort it out, and it depends. And learning is a deep thing, in a person, in life. So you should say, well, I forgive them for all of their actions because I don't understand where they're coming from, and you can feel sorry for them and feel, isn't it a pity? And you can look at yourself and say, well, you know what, I'm so happy I'm not like that. I'll show them patience, I'll show them kindness, whatever I can afford, because it's like, again, going back to Scrooge again. So I'm saying, remember, it's real life. It's like Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, or when Jacob Marley there, and Scrooge, and Scrooge says to Jacob Marley's ghost, he says, Jacob, he says, you were always a good man of business, Jacob. And Jacob Marley says to him, he said, fuck motherfucker, play me some Bob Marley, bitch. No, I'm only joking now. But no, Jacob, give me the dough, bro. But it's like, Scrooge says to Jacob Marley, you were always a good man of business, Jacob. And then Jacob says, if you're already on the point, right, you know what he says? He says, no, he said, I should have made people my business. So this is what we're talking about. So we're talking about not robbing people off or robbing yourself off or worrying about this, who's going to, what it means is balancing. It's like with language, communication, and seeing when you're rich and when you're poor, really, and not letting that ego take over you, or looking at someone else, oh, he's doing it for himself, is he? Well, good for him, or good for her. You should do it for yourself too, but don't be a fake ass. Be real to yourself. And even these people are being real to themselves. It's only from what we see as an outer image. You know what I'm trying to say? Everybody's got their goals. Everybody wants to do it for survival, really. That's why everybody's fighting for survival, really. That's why you have to forgive most people in most instances. Is the ultimate thing. If you were like a monk, let's say. But when you talk about things like people doing crimes and people stealing and then killing and things, it can be very hard for people to forgive, right? But this is the ultimate thing, though, in martial arts. When it's really telling you, you learn all these killing arts and these really hardcore combat arts so that you understand, ultimately, should have been in the ancient ways, they were talking about so that you can forgive anyone for anything. And you have no hate in your heart for any human being. And it seems like impossible for most people to do. Right? If someone was to kill your friend or steal from you, how would you feel about that? It's like, that's what it should be like. It's saying, there's like no revenge or none of this, or no hate in your attack, and none of that, you know what I mean? It's like, it's all for the control. So it's when when someone coming in. So we're saying to avoid violence. That's the base, that's the main thing. But we have to train real and have very good control of the martial arts, better control than these people who don't train martial arts, or these thugs or whatever's out there in nasty forces of disillusioned, messed up people. You've got to learn so that you are better and more healthy, and you have some control. So we learn to fight and learn training techniques and do exercise and keep strong in our body. But it's like you can't compare yourself to anyone else. You don't know their background and what they know. And the martial arts, and again, like anyone can attack anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a master or an expert martial artist. Somebody on the bus could go and just kill you while you're sleeping on the bus, or just sitting there. Someone could come up behind you and surprise you or hit you out of the blue. It could happen, right? But so that's true. Right? Even champion fight, pride fighters or whatever the fuck. I'm just trying to say, right? So, that knowing that nobody's perfect, nobody's invincible, we can only train what we can. That brings you back to the point where we are all human, and then again, without saying even the martial arts, we are all human. So the martial arts is there to learn control of ourselves, not to control people aside, but to control ourselves. But for these people who have less control, if someone has less control of themselves, they are very vulnerable, and it's like a drunk person. Anyone can take advantage of them, and you can take control of that person. Someone who's more stronger than another person physically, or more smarter, can. So martial arts teaches you to be smart and teaches you to be strong in yourself and control. So that you have control over different arts and things in life, and then over yourself what you can do, and you can read that person's balance, and often you can see them as though it's like Matrix again, like the Matrix when Morpheus says to Neo, when Neo says to Morpheus, what are you telling me, I can dodge bullets? He says no, because he says you're faster than this, you just don't know it. He said no, I'm telling you that when you're ready, you won't need to try to dodge bullets. You'll see it in slow motion. You can pick the bullets out of the air. It's like you can just avoid it. When someone's coming at you to attack, you can see when their arm's going to raise. When someone's putting their hand in their pocket to get ready, you can see the opening ears. You're aware of everything that's going on around you in the street. So you're aware, and you're more able to like defend yourself. You're seeing things as though it's in slow motion all of a sudden. It's like you're so alert and awake. Martial arts teaches you that. And it teaches you all kinds of skills to be able to block and control and develop and train. It's the same way that police and army do learn tactics to control like, suspects and things, you know. But you've got to learn to go with the flow. You know, it shouldn't be all a struggle or a war, you know what I mean, or a struggle and wrestling. They're all just like beating the crap out of each other. It's like you got to learn to be smart with the martial arts. I really, really do respect like, the ninja ways, you know, the ninja, because I believe they were some of the smartest martial artists on the planet, to be honest with you. It's like, I love Wing Chun, I love Tai Chi and Kung Fu, and mainly the Chinese systems, but I love all kinds of martial arts. But it's like, Wing Chun's great for directness, you know. Tai Chi is great for the absorbing and the softness and absorbing the opponent's attack. It's like Aikido is as well, yeah. But it's like the ninja, you know, the ancient ninjas, I think they were the best really though, because they were so deceptive. They would avoid, you wouldn't even know they're there. Camouflage or different tricks they would use in the night. They'd go around the back of a castle and find a way. They would win the day. They would not even need, if they were found out by people and they had to use their skills. And this is, I remember, a great wonderful good friend of ours, Rick, was actually talking about too before, and it's true. Like if the ninja, you know, the ninjas were literally in a situation where they had to like literally defend themselves in combat, be armed or unarmed, but you know, it's like they'd be in the most difficult, but in the most terrible situation. They shouldn't be in that situation. So they try to avoid it all, and people might say, well, that's cowardice, you know, you should face your opponent. It's cowardice to hide and pull off cheap shots, basically, you know, and do like sneaking around that, and killing your opponent in your sleep and that. So, but they weren't trying to play around or prove a point. That's the ego again. They were trying to do what they wanted to do. They wanted to go to the castle to get the gold or the secret scrolls, scrolls or whatever it was, you know, or they go in. And they want to take out their opponent. If you want to take your opponent out, you don't want to give your opponent a chance, do you? It's the same as you say, well, I'm not going to show you my guard. I'm going to attack you now. Get ready and block, okay? You're doing fighting. You're in the ring. Even Floyd Mayweather, you slip in a jab. You do a quick sneaky hit there. You wouldn't say, well, that's a cheap shot, man. What you want to do? Tell him every hit, I'm going to punch your head, block. I'm going to punch your body, block. You're not going to do that, are you? Because you want to win. Unless you're going to say, okay, put your guard up. I'm going to punch through your guard and knock you the fuck out still. They need to be talking about hardcore stuff. But because we're not doing that, you know, it's like, you know, people just, they don't want to do that, do they? You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, you want to win, you go straight forward directly. That's what we're talking about, okay? And Wing Chun again, you know, epic, deceptiveness, ninjutsu, Tai Chi, the soft absorbing stuff, Aikido, I love it all. You know what I mean? You've got Bagua, things like that. But, you know, I love all of it all. Kempo again, Larry Tatum talking about not only the speed and the control of the moves, but it's Larry Tatum speaking about things like circles and lines, like going around with different kinds of circular moves, but it's like going straight direct in terms of combat. So, we're talking about this in life, but we want to use all these, we want to study all these combative strategies in language too, and how to win arguments, or to try to, or the way people think, as well as how to fight physically. We learn all of that so that we can exercise, and then in life and other kinds of art, we study it all in a combative kind of way, martial arts, to learn how to avoid, and so that we don't need to waste all that energy. That's the true essence, really, what it seems what martial arts was all about originally. So we're learning how to avoid fights, how to avoid confrontations, how to try to do good and grow and develop and do more in life, which is better for society, or sorry, better for nature. Because if you don't stay on that path of nature and you keep going against it, you're going to get torn up by a tornado. You are not. If you go against nature, you know, it's like, as they go, follow nature, was it the opposite or hate? And I thought, was it patience? Was it maybe? I can't remember. I'm just saying, right? But it's like, you know, nature is the way, right? Be and understand. You might not understand everything about other people the same way as you might not understand the whole universe, but understand yourself. Avoid, try your best to avoid negative or dangerous situations if you can. Train hard and stay safe, as I always say. Train your techniques, train your mindset, but it's like train so that you understand positivity. You know what I'm saying? Not so that you become a killing animal, a violent son of a bitch. Because there's a lot of techniques in the martial arts which are so violent. You know, like things like gouging the eyes, poking the eyes, kicking the groin. Things like Bruce Lee used to talk about. And these things like fighting dirty, yeah, you've got to do it in a real fight. Yeah, but do you have to? And it's disgusting. I would never. It's like I practice so many different arm locks and things. I would never want to break someone's arm or fingers or poke them in the eye, rip blood out of their throat and kill them, or you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do that. I'll kick someone in the groin, you know, and fuck someone up, bust someone's ribs. Would you want to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. That would be disgusting. I can't stand the sight of blood. I can't stand needles, injections, and things like that. Anyway, when I go down to doctors, for example, blood tests. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't like violence. I don't like destruction. I hate it. It's just terrible. And I hate seeing anyone else unhappy around me too. I don't like any negativity. That's it. So the best way is to dilute it with patience. Avoid all of that, or flood it out, wash it. It's like some shit in your toilet. Flush it out, man. All that with some good stuff. Positivity. When you're bored or when you're stressed, don't think about all that crap if it's not necessary, I'm saying. Something you've got to think about problems, but don't think too much. Go and do something positive, some creativity. Read something, or go online, talk to some like-minded people, some friends, or go and watch a movie, or do something, have a sleep, have a shower, go for a walk, do your martial arts, do some writing, reading, take some photos, go for a walk with somebody. You know, do something different. Or go for a walk by yourself, or whatever it might be, in a park. Relax. Think about other stuff. Something you've got to learn to refresh that and feel the space. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Feel the space that needs to be filled, you know, and empty the space which needs to be empty. You know, get that crap out, push to the side, and fill your life with beauty, because you've only got one chance to live. Don't fill other people's lives up with shit. Go around carrying heavy bags of crap and say, "Oh, I'm tired. Why don't people help me?" And this is what I'm saying. Well, what's he got in his bags? I bet you've got money, haven't you? That's not the point. You can put that rubbish down. You can go and get yourself more than any money will buy. If you were to die today, who would remember you? This is the same thing. Who would remember that guy? And you start feeling bad because the other day you were speaking bad about someone. You're like attacking people, and then you feel guilty. Because we're all human beings. Or you might not give a damn. But at the end of the day, you know, what have you done today? What have you done today with your life? Really? What am I talking about? Little chicken, Wilshire Richard. What have you done with your life today? What is so-and-so? Them people you saw on the bus today, those people you saw down the street or wherever, what were they talking about? Oh, so-and-so, do you see those shoes he bought? I told him, blah, 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 and you know, he should this and that, or you've got to change your life, and blah, 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 blah. People are just putting people down. All you see is weak people all the time around you. With their egos, they don't know anything more. So, we've got to learn to be better than negativity. If we can't help them, we've got to sure as fuck not waste our time worrying about them. We've got to help ourselves. So, love life and do good. I respect people like Robin Williams, as I say, you know, and people like Jackie Chan, who just try and use their art in a positive way. And it's the heart that shines through, and we're all human beings at the end of the day. Okay, I'll thank you very, very much for watching this video. In the next video I make, I will talk more about violence and how it's anti-violence, basically. I don't support it, okay? I'm against violence and bullying and anything like that, okay? So take care, thank you very much for watching. Wilshire Richard here. I will be sharing lots more martial art videos. You know, like, I talk strong-worded sometimes. It seems like I'm kind of strong in my words, the way I speak, like fuck this, that, and you know, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm a patient person. When I'm showing all these different techniques and that, oh, you get someone to a lock, bust them in their teeth, kick them in their groin, roundhouse, reverse roundhouse kick, crack across the head. It's violent techniques, right? But I'm not saying do it, I'm saying understand knowing how to defend yourself and learn it from the practice and how to apply things necessarily what needs to be, as you see, and try to find better ways always than what you currently have as your necessary only option. To do better than that even. Constantly, it's a life journey thing, it's a thing for life, it's not a hobby thing. You do martial arts as a part for life and you've got to continue training. Now, I don't look like a little old master, a little old Chinese master sitting here. But I'm inspired by all that, and I don't think it's a daydream, and I know my life is one. If you want to be the master, one day I want to be like that master, or the master of myself at least, not anybody else's art, because little old men also compare with ego. I will live my whole life on this path of martial arts and the training and the honest pureness of martial, trying to be honest in myself and humble and do the right thing and from kindness, but to be honest in the training of myself and not mess about, sweat it out, train, you know. But you have to learn all the carnage or the hardcore techniques. Like when I'm doing all this, when I'm speaking my mind, all this, you know, and it seems like I'm being strong-minded, you know, very or like overpowering. I don't mean to be. Or when I'm like, I might come across as a coward to people I don't know, or an idiot, because people see it from different points of view, and that's okay if no one understands me or agrees with me to any extent. Because that's that. You know, I'm just saying what I think. But you know, and it's the same for like my cartoons. You see the little fun cartoons I make, and there's fighting in that, or like the raps I make where I'm like swearing and there's all kinds of hard lyrics. But it's just there to say, look at the beauty of life. We study that so we understand the powerful side. We can be more hard, we can be more intense than any force of nature or anything that's going to try and bring us down. You have to train harder than that. Even though you may not be ever invincible. You know, the ninjas trained invisibility, and that was like invincibility, you know. They can't see you, they can't find you. But it's like, you know, it's like you train with that mindset, and you train wiseness also, not just like I'm going to run in front of a train because I believe I can, one day I'm going to stop it. You might not never get another tomorrow. You know, if I can avoid that, and avoid competition is my advice too. Do your own training and train with some people. You can get some good competition and sparring and stuff with people. You don't have to like put yourself at risk and in danger and things like that, or put others in danger, or try and turn other people against other people just for your own good, so you feel good. That's what people do, have ego. New people in a job. Haven't you ever been in that situation before? You go to a new job and there's other new people there, and everybody's trying to suss out who's the weak one, who can win, or who can they say something about. You know, so and so, he did it up. And say, yeah, I think so. I've seen people like that, and people get together and they're nasty. They're like a group of kids when they do it. It's like people going into a prison and they find the weak one. How dare they? You know what I mean? Because we're all human at the end of the day, and you could have been the victim. You know, and you know, would you be able to stand up against this world? So always look at yourself like you're not the hero. You're not the toughest, big, tough guy. You're the victim. You wouldn't be able to take on this world. You wouldn't be able to take on a load of crap out there if it was in your face. So hopefully you're going to avoid negativity and violent situations, but train to be more ready. It's like Bruce Lee was training for a fight that would never happen, they said. And that's what brought on some of his health problems and stuff. But it's like we're back in that. But it's like, you know, literally, you do have to train harder than you're ever going to need, and practice harder than you're ever going to use. You know what I mean? Practice art if you're an artist. Study harder if you're a student. You know, write if you're a writer. Do lots of reading if you want to be a good writer. You know what I mean? Practice those martial art moves over and over. Train hard shadow boxing if you're going to go in the ring for a boxing fight. I'm just saying. But you know, you have to practice. It's like Bruce Lee said, you know, he's not afraid of someone who's practiced, like, what's it, 1,000 moves. Each move he's practiced once, let's say. But he said he's afraid of someone who's practiced one move, one technique 1,000 times or something. And it's true, because you're going to be good at that. You know what I mean? You'll learn more about it. You might even learn that it's not so good, or there's an effect, or a different way you can do this. And always look at the opposites in life, I would say, so you know the other side of it. Okay, you know what I mean? So not always left and right or wrong, but like, what's the opposite of this? The opposite is not this, like not having it, right? It's like, what's the opposite of my left hand? Oh, my right hand. Oh, no, it's the back of this hand. No, or something else, or like an open or a closed hand. You confuse yourself in life. You see what I'm trying to say? You know, what's the opposite of that door behind me there, or a door in front of me, on the left or the right, or no door, or open or closed door, or maybe not wanting to go for a door, or maybe not even thinking about the door. It's in my mind, a belief system. So it's all that, or not, see? So, what's the opposite of this hand? No hand. I'm busy, you know? Well, what could you be doing? What are you doing with your time these days? Are you avoiding violence? Are you avoiding violence? When I say violence, I mean any kind of violence. Not only that physical confrontations with people, I mean any kind of pressure, any kind of unnecessary things, especially in your dealings with people. And now that brings back memories from like reading from, I think it was the book, Musashi's Book of Five Rings, I think, a long time ago. You know, and you got, well, it might have been in the Dao De Jing, my favourite book, the Dao De Jing, a philosophy book by Lao Tzu, a great Chinese philosopher. I'm not very interested in Confucius, Kongzi, but I like Lao Tzu, from the Dao De Jing. I think he's very, very wise, is excellent, Also a very good book is by Peter Lewis, Myths and Legends of the Martial Arts, about lots of little short stories there, meaningful stories based on martial arts, some true, some not. So I want to stop this video here. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for watching. This video is also kind of long, right? I know, longer than I hoped, but I'm going to go and I'm going to make another video about violence and talk about my feelings of violence and how we should avoid violence and the state of the world today in general. In terms of violence in culture, especially in our Western culture, like in England or America, but all over the world, and where does violence come from, and things like that, and what we can do. I mean, this is a deep topic. You can make a number of different videos on different areas of that, but it's like, I'll just do one first of all, and I have another video to talk about it. Then we're going to get onto different topics anyway, and I'm going to make a lot of different talk videos. I love to share my thoughts. I'm not someone who likes to ramble and hear myself just talking, but I like to share so I can get some feedback, and I like to hear what you think about life. If there's any, and communicate with people. That's what we should be doing as human beings, I believe, communicating. Not that I dictate what people should be doing or shouldn't be doing. I'm just saying, that's how I feel. I might take that to the grave with me, and when I'm an old man, I'm just trying to say it. I'm on the path of martial art, and it's like, we all need to learn, I believe, in life to improve our life, but not learn the fake stuff or compare it. It's like, learn what we're doing, and learn who we are, and do more, and make in this life, and create, alright? Thank you for watching Train On Stay. So I'm going to go to eat now, because I need to eat too, as a human being, right? Thank you for watching. More martial arts to come. Thank you. I don't have any ego. If I do, I want to clean it out day by day, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching.